President Park Geun-hye has urged Samsung Medical Center, a major source of MERS infections, to act responsibly to end the recent outbreak. The World Health Organization says the MERS outbreak in Korea is not an international public health emergency and there's no need to issue travel warnings. And following the return of South Korean citizens detained in North Korea, Seoul sent back a North Korean ship that drifted into southern waters. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Thursday, June 18th. I'm Luke Clary. President Park Geun-hye has urged Samsung Medical Center to act responsibly to end the recent MERS outbreak. The hospital, which has been the major source of MERS infections, officially apologized to the president for not properly responding to the situation.
Samsung Medical Center President Dr. Jae-hoon was called to meet with President Park Geun-hye during her visit to the Korea National Institute of Health. The president told Dr. Song that half of the MERS patients contracted the virus from Samsung Medical Center and made strong requests for transparent disclosure of information and thorough preventive measures.
감염과 관련한 내용들이 아주 투명하게 전부 이렇게 공개가 되고 종식으로 들어가지고 이렇게 책임지도록 해주시기를 바랍니다.
Dr. Song apologized to the president for not properly dealing with the infection and spread of MERS. She also instructed Health and Welfare Minister Moon Hyung-pyo to administer tighter oversight of Samsung Medical Center.
새로운 이런 감염병인 외국에서 유입된 병인 경우에는 가능한 한 그 보수적으로 봉쇄를 해야 되지 않나.
최대한 방문객이라든가 가족 간병인까지를 최대한 넓게 잡아가지고서는 제가 모니터링을 하겠습니다.
The president instructed that the hospitals where MERS-confirmed patients had stayed should make quick shutdown decisions and ask for assistance from pertinent government ministries.
The World Health Organization has concluded that the MERS outbreak in Korea is not a public health emergency of international concern. It added that there's no need to issue travel warnings because the number of MERS patients has been on the decline.
The World Health Organization says that the MERS outbreak in Korea demonstrates the global threat posed by contagious diseases in the era of free travel. The organization pointed out that the low public awareness of MERS, poor prevention at hospitals, overcrowded patient rooms, and the seeking of medical care from multiple physicians contributed to the spread of MERS in Korea.
With the government is that it is absolutely critical to keep up high levels of surveillance, keep up high levels of monitoring until we know that the transmission is ended and the outbreak is over.
The WHO urged Korean authorities to take stern quarantine measures as more people who are yet unaware of their contact with MERS patients may become infected. But the organization reiterated that the MERS virus did not mutate in Korea and that it hasn't been transmitted into local communities. The WHO concluded that there is no need to declare a public health emergency of international concern.
We see that they appear to be going down. And so when we look at the control measures which have been instituted and we begin to see the decline in new cases.
The WHO also said that travel warnings and trade bans for Korea are not necessary.
Following the return of South Korean citizens who have been detained in North Korea, the South Korean government sent back on Thursday a North Korean ship that had drifted into southern waters. Now, these conciliatory moves by both parties can be seen as positive signs, especially amid the prolonged inter-Korean tension.
Two South Korean citizens who had been detained in North Korea returned home on Thursday through Panmunjom. They are a couple in their 50s who went missing on May 11th while traveling near the North Korean and Chinese border. Immediately after their release, North Korea announced through state-run media that they were returned as a humanitarian gesture.
본인들이 고의적으로 저지른 범죄 행위라는 것을 솔직히 인정하고 용서해 줄 것을 간절히 요청했으므로 인도주의적 견지에서 돌려보내기로 했습니다.
Also on Thursday, South Korea sent back a North Korean vessel and its crew who were rescued from the East Sea. The South Korean Coast Guard discovered on Tuesday morning a North Korean ship with engine trouble drifting near Ulung Island and guided it back north after repairing it. But the following morning, the same vessel was again discovered in southern waters and was rescued the second time around. Despite prolonged inter-Korean tensions, both South and North Korea have acted in humanitarian ways.
The government is trying yet again to implement reforms in the labor market after a long break from those efforts. Labor circles warn of an impending strike if the government implements the peak wage system in the private sector as well.
This company implemented the wage peak system 2 years ago. Its labor and management agreed to extend the retirement age to 60 and cut wages for workers by 10% annually after they reach the age of 56.
정년 연장을 또 얻고 회사는 필요한 기술을 노하우도 전수하고.
But less than 10% of businesses have introduced the wage peak system. The government has decided to implement the wage peak system in all public corporations starting next year, as youth unemployment will likely become worse without additional measures following the extension of the retirement age. The government also added that it would encourage the shipbuilding, financial, pharmaceutical, automobile, retail, and wholesale sectors, as well as the nation's top 30 business groups in the private sector, to introduce the wage peak system. However, labor circles blasted the government for overstepping its authority and threatened to launch a general strike. They argue that given the growing instability in the job market, there is no guarantee that the wage peak system will create jobs for young people and will only result in lower wages.
A thief broke into a luxury villa in the affluent Gangnam area of Seoul last month. The thief was able to break through the villa compound's tight security by hiding in a large box.
A truck passes through the main gate of a luxury villa complex. A man appearing to be a delivery man wheels in a large box and talks to the security guard before entering the building. The man reappears after a few minutes carrying an empty box. He drives away after loading the box in the truck. Then, 17 hours later, a theft takes place in one of the homes in the compound. It turns out that a 33-year-old man surnamed Im was hiding inside the box. His accomplice, a 35-year-old man surnamed An, pretended to be a delivery man and took the box inside the building with Im concealed inside. Im hid out in the emergency stairwell for 17 hours and broke into a victim's home after hearing no sounds coming from the inside. He stole about $270, but was discovered by a friend of the victim in the house. The thief lied that he was doing a personal favor for the victim and casually left the building. He was apprehended by police who received a call about the burglary. The police have arrested both Im and An on the charges of special larceny.
Police have apprehended a 40-something imposter who has committed multiple crimes over the past 30 years. And because of loopholes in the way police check IDs, several innocent people were forced to undergo investigations for crimes they never committed.
Kim Chun-sam, a 51-year-old entrepreneur, recently received notification of a summary trial decision saying that he had to pay a fine. The notice said that Kim was caught for gambling last month in a club that he had never visited in reality. To make matters worse, he is currently a credit delinquent. His name was added to the list of credit delinquents by a credit collection firm because someone subscribed to a pay TV channel under his name and didn't pay the fee. The person who stole Kim's identity is a 49-year-old man surnamed Chang. Police belatedly admitted to having been negligent in checking his resident registration card.
경찰이 이제 특심 처리하면서 그 지문 확인이라든지 정확한 있는 인적사항을 확인하는 절차에서 약간 미흡한 점은 있었던 건 사실입니다.
Chang managed to evade police and live as an imposter for 30 years before he was finally caught recently. Police have requested an arrest warrant.
Coloring books were once thought to be just for children, but these days a coloring book craze has broken out among women in their 20s and 30s, and riding the fad, coloring books are among the best sellers at bookstores nowadays.
Female office workers in their 20s and 30s are occupied with coloring books, while coloring the intricate patterns with colored pencils. They completely forget about their stressful days and worries.
걱정거리라든지 뭐 이런 것들 생각이 안 돼서 좋고 또 완성하면은 그런 성취감 같은 게 있어서 또 제가 칠해놓은 거 보면 기분 좋기도 하고 그런 것 같아요.
Coloring books that are too sophisticated for children are enjoying huge popularity among women in their 20s and 30s. They can complete their own artworks just by coloring patterns designed and drawn by artists. In South Korea, the unexpected fad was ignited by a British illustrator's coloring book. Since then, 300 kinds of coloring books have been published in the nation. Riding on the coloring craze around the world, a South Korean illustrator's work has been exported to 17 countries, including the UK and France. Regarded as a good way to release stress, coloring books are also becoming a new profit source for South Korean publishers, which have been suffering lately from an extremely depressed market.
The Hollywood blockbuster Jurassic World is creating a sensation at South Korean movie theaters, but new South Korean movies will open this weekend to challenge the dominance of the Hollywood adventure film. Here's today's entertainment news.
This movie is based on a true story of a police detective and a shamanic religious figure teaming up to find a missing child in Busan in 1978. The touching story depicts their desperate efforts to find the child without giving up hope, despite being surrounded by police officials who seek only to take credit without concern for the child's safety. With actors Yoo Hae-jin and Kim Yoon-seok's skillful acting and seasoned direction by Park Geun-hye, director of Friend, the film has brought new life to a forgotten story.
식구처럼 맞아줄 거라고 믿어요.
The Japanese colonial government's policy of obliterating Korea's national spirit reached a peak in 1938. Churan, newly transferred to a boarding school, sees her friends disappear one by one. Harboring doubt over the cases, Churan attempts to uncover the truth, but strange symptoms begin to appear on her body. The film resembles a horror movie set in a school, but it's actually a mystery thriller hiding unexpected twists.
A strong immune system is a must for fighting disease, and there are ways to help strengthen your body's defenses. Here's how.
The immune system is like a defense system that protects the body from viruses and harmful bacteria. A weak immune system can affect not only the eyes and the mouth, but also the internal organs. One of the telltale signs of a weak immune system is feeling tired and heavy in the morning. Mouth ulcers and scars that don't heal easily are also the signs of a weak immune system. Frequent stomach aches may indicate weak stomach function. Here's how to boost your immune system.
특정한 약이 있다기보다는 생활 속에서 노력들이 중요한데요. 규칙적인 운동과 면역력을 높이는 건강한 식품들을 꾸준히 섭취해 주는 것이 중요하겠습니다.
Red ginseng is known for its excellent immune system strengthening properties, but people who normally run a little hot should avoid it. If you prefer red ginseng powder, take 3 grams 3 times a day.
홍삼의 면역력 주된 성분은 사포닌이라는 성분이 있는데요. 사포닌은 선천 면역인 자연살의 세포의 능력을 키움으로써 면역력 증진에 도움이 됩니다.
With so many healthful foods around us, you don't need to buy expensive health supplements to boost your immune system. Barley and oats are rich in beta-glucans, which are a kind of polysaccharides that help strengthen the immune system. Garlic is also a must-eat food if you want to boost your immune system.
마늘에는 알리신과 아연의 성분을 가지고 있으며 이 성분들은 자연살의 세포의 능력을 향상시킴으로써 면역력 향상에 도움이 되고 있습니다.
Another healthful food is sweet potatoes. They contain fiber, which helps improve intestinal health, and beta-carotene, which strengthens the immune system. But eating too many sweet potatoes could raise your blood sugar levels, so only eat 1 or 2 a day. Another important thing to keep in mind is drinking at least 8 glasses of water daily to increase your metabolism. With these healthy eating habits and a healthy lifestyle, you can keep your immune system at the optimal level and fight off oncoming disease.
Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.